We'd like to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, to the Create Your Own podcast, hosted by yours truly, Tejj Murari.
And I am Jeremy Blitz, here to host as well. And in the back we got our producer, Charlie, also known as C-Chew, for those of you who like a good nickname.
And he wears many hats, one of which is a rainbow Hawaii hat. Today, he taught me that the University of Hawaii, is that correct, Charlie?
University of Hawaii.
He taught me that the University of Hawaii's mascot is, in fact, the rainbows. And with that little nugget of information, let's embark on our journey.
Let me just say, I think rainbows as a mascot is a very appropriate thing for our podcast. Not that I'm saying we should steal it. Good for Hawaii. But we are going to, here on the Choose Your Own podcast, do something I like to call read some Choose Your Own Adventure books. Now, if you don't know what that is...
You probably never went to school in a public school system, or
Yes.
you
100%.
maybe had some friends, because the only reason I know about these books is because I had no friends as a child, and I had to make my own adventures this way.
And you know, they're also here, let's see what we got here. This one I got in my hand right here is from 1982 originally. So yeah, they're old. It's a lost art. It's like everyone, kids these days playing their video games and using their interwebs. We just want to sit and read a book and have a good old adventure where the stakes are real. The stakes are real. So anyway.
The good man Blitz here went into a Barnes & Noble a few weeks ago and managed to snag what looks to be an edition 1, series 1, volume 1 thingy of The Abominable Snowman. So it seems to be the first story first options of stories that was released by this set of books, which are called Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah, it's actually funny because I went into this Barnes & Noble and I was looking around for a little because books are cool. And I don't see any Choose Your Own Adventure books. I was literally this adult male just chilling in the kids aisle looking at all the kids books for 45 minutes. So that probably
Did they have to... The security guard start watching you a little bit?
They were definitely looking at me. I mean, it wasn't some security guard, it was some hipster dude. But then I walked up to him and I was like, hey, do you guys have any Choose Your Own Adventure books? I don't see any. Is that still a thing? And he was like, well, basically, he was like, to paraphrase, no. But because no one buys them anymore, we have some of them. And I said, well, that's a shame. I would like to change that. And he had two, like Tejj said, the first two in this series from the 80s. It's by R.A. Montgomery. Sounds like a good chap.
Shout out R.A.
I hope we can learn a thing or two. We'll pull up some information on him if we can. Sounds like a great dude. Thank you for writing these books. I don't know what to expect, but I'll just tell you right off the bat that the Abominable Snowman is right on the cover. So he's a scary-looking dude. I mean, he kind of just looks like a gorilla with a human's face. I don't know. What do you think, Tejj?
In fact, while Blitz just said we were going to look him up, I happened to pull him up, and while looking at this cover, I think it was maybe inspired by R.A. Montgomery himself, because R.A. Montgomery, let me just paint a picture for you, ladies and gentlemen, is a burly man with a big beard and often photographed with sunglasses or glasses of some kind. He looks to be somewhat of a mafioso type, if we were to go there.
Yeah, I'm feeling that from the suit.
And born in Greenwich, Connecticut in 1935, and unfortunately he passed in November 9th, 2014. My freshman year of college. I almost passed that year too, but we'll keep that one moving.
Same here, buddy. Well, yeah, Montgomery seems like the kind of guy whose mind you want to be delving into, is what we're getting at here, and I'm very excited. Let's see if they got an age in here for the kids. Well, I don't see that, but as soon as I open it, I see kids love reading, choose your own adventure. And these are what looks like to be quotes from children. So I guess these are kids who read the book. So we can take a look at some of those, see what we're in for. Yeah, I'd read the back to you, but the back is just, it's like some sort of, when you
In fact, this is probably the coolest thing about this book, is that instead of giving you a synopsis about what the book is about on the back, it just shows you a in-depth diagram of all the possible choices and turns that you could make during the books, and then it also shows
with absolutely no information.
And then it also
they're all circles and lines and triangles.
And it also shows you possible errors that you could make which would then force you to have to go back and start from a different point in the story.
That's what we're assuming, at least.
Which
we have not touched these books since I bought them.
That's very correct. I should have prefaced that by saying this is 100% a guess.
Yes,
because when I read these before, I was in second grade, like I said, and my memory is not that great.
Yeah, the only one I had was a Goosebumps one, actually, I think, when I was a kid that I remembered. But, yeah, I don't know. I always just thought about them. I play Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. This is just, like, something you hear about when you're super nerdy. And you're, doing bad stuff as a teenager. Hanging out, being a hoodlum,
Reading books, you god darn hoodlum.
That's what they would say. My mom would literally all the time be like, "Where are you going? You stay out so late." I'd be like, "Mom, I'm going to play Dungeons and Dragons." Like, imagine that.
I'm deciding the fate of my kingdom.
Mother.
You know the responsibility I have on my shoulders, Mom?
I'm a level 4 elfin knight. That doesn't even sound real. Nothing I've ever made sounds like that. Well, let's listen. Let's read some of these quotes from these kids. So we'll go back and forth. So here's Matt Harmon, age 11, and he says, "These books are like games. Sometimes the choice seems like it will solve everything, but you wonder if it's a trap." Well, that makes me nervous. What does that mean?
Max Harmon sounds like a very trepidatious child. I wonder if he was
I
maybe,
worry for Matthew.
Oh, his name is Matt. Forgive me. I'm
I
sorry.
wonder if
I said his name was Max.
I wonder if I did his voice good. Is that a good,
I think that's what Matt would sound like. I hope you're proud, Matt.
he was
Moving on,
11?
we have Ava Kendrick here, and forgive me, Ava. I think you sound like this. I think you'd call this a book for active readers, and I'm definitely an active reader. I do have to say, Ava, that was it's great that you're an active reader. It doesn't really sell it for people who are not active readers.
Yeah, hold
so
on.
in fact, I think your review might be kind of off canter there.
I'm a little confused.
I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, does that make the book good? Because what does it even mean to be? If I'm a little kid and I'm reading this book, I'd be like, I run, I'm active. What is that? I don't understand what that means. All right, Ava, good try. I mean, you got in the book, so who knows what else they had that didn't get in the book, Some kid like John Jones from Miami, age 6, and he's like, I like the adventures. All right, so this is Chun Tao Lin. I hope I pronounced that. He's probably,
I think he might, just sound like a good red-blooded American.
Well, let me just read in my normal voice, and you'll just kind of... You decide your own fate, but your fate is still a surprise.
So wise.
Chun Tao Lin.
Like a prophet.
Kid
How
just
old was
changed
he?
me.
How
Kid
old
just
was he
changed
when he dropped that little
10
nugget
years
of
old.
knowledge? Oh my God, 10 years old. Guys,
See,
we got to figure it out.
That's why
We got to figure it out like Chun Tao Lin, because I'm telling you, at 10 years old, I was still trying to figure out whether my bookers were salty or sweet.
At 10 years, when I was 10, I wrote a book about Tom the Turkey. That was the book. And it was about this turkey who escapes his farm with a couple of his friends. And they all get murdered in fucked up ways. I don't really remember exactly how, but it's like the rabbit gets sacrificed to some beaver demon. There's a rock fall, and then basically Tom gets to the other farm, and he gets to this place. He's like, "Oh, this is great. There's other animals here." And then a farmer comes and just cooks him up. So he did not get to choose his destiny, but today we shall choose somebody's destiny.
And you will join us on this journey, ladies and gentlemen.
Here, why don't you read that next one, Tejj?
Here we got Ben Curley, age 9. He says, come on, in this book, you're crazy enough. One wrong move, and you're a goner. So,
These are making me nervous.
We better be careful, because I don't want to get crushed by an abominable snowman now.
Yeah, that's very true. We probably will get crushed. We'll see. Maybe we're good decision makers. And here's the final one. Was that kid's name Ben Curley?
That's right.
There was a guy named Curly in me and C-Chew's rap group. But we don't talk about him no mo.
Uh-oh.
That's how it goes in the rap game sometimes.
Sounds like there was no bridge built over that troubled water.
No, it was not. Alright. You can read Choose Your Own Adventure books so many wonderful ways. You could go find your dog or follow a unicorn. I think I nailed that one. Celia Lawton, age 10. And wait. You could go find your dog or follow a unicorn. That's a great comparison because you have a dog, which I hope I'm not just finding a dog in this book. It's about the Abominable Snowman. But then if I see a frickin' unicorn in this book about abominable snowmans, I'm gonna be pretty hyped.
You know, not to sound super nerdy or whatever, but I'm so looking forward to making these like vastly deep moral choices that we're going to be faced with, because
that is what I'm excited for.
Because
it's
like that one right there is like, I don't know, like, do I leave my dog? I love my dog. I don't want to leave my dog, but it's a fucking unicorn, dude. Like, you know, like you'll probably have 5 or 6 dogs in your lifetime. There are millions of people that have gone their entire lives without ever seeing a unicorn. And if you had the opportunity to go for a unicorn, would you not owe it to the rest of humanity to go after that unicorn?
I will tell you this. The Last Unicorn, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That's the name of Tiffany Haddish's comedy special. Plug that real quick.
There you go, Tiffany. I don't know who you are, but Tejj can fill me in later. Anyway. So I just have to say again, I know I brought up this imagery before, but the Abominable Snowman, first of all, I don't like the way he's looking at me. Give him a look there. He looks very mad. And it doesn't look like we're anywhere fun. It looks like we're in some very barren snowscape, like we're on Hoth.
Unfortunately, the first thing that comes to mind is it looks like he's wearing a shirt, but he's not wearing any pants. That's the first thing that my eyes are drawn to, if we're being 100% frank.
Damn.
He's very furry, like you would imagine, like you would imagine Abominable Snowman be, but he's wearing a shirt, but he's not wearing any pants.
Yeah, why is it cut like that?
I don't know.
That's so weird. It looks like he's like wearing like.
But he's furry regardless.
It actually looks like he's wearing a bathing suit.
It's like a woman's, like a woman's one-piece,
like
a woman's one-piece bathing suit. That's right. But it's very loose in the crotchal region, like a long shirt.
Sneakers. Or moccasins, mayes
See,
what's that?
But that's what I'm saying.
Those bones?
Look, he's
snow?
He's super furry. He's super furry everywhere. But like this looks like the V-neck cut of a shirt. You know what I mean?
He has a sick beard.
He does have.
Me and Tejj are both beard boys.
Oh yeah, we're bearded men.
I respect one hell of a beard. Also, Charlie over here. He's got a pretty nice beard, and he has recently grown his first mustache, and it's a beautiful baby girl. Proud to announce.
You can't go wrong with a beard.
Thank you for that, Charlie. Charlie will also be pitching here and there with some hims and haws and sound effects and really whatever he wants. Because that's how it goes when you're the producer, boys and girls. Charlie.
Oh, one thing I would like to mention is Blitz noticed on the back before we had started the podcast, before we started recording, that if you flip all the way to the back of the book, there is a beautifully illustrated two-page thing. And it tells you it says vital statistics, right?
Let's save those. They're too good.
We'll save those.
We did read that because I was really excited.
If you have a book,
I'm still very excited.
And if you have a book and you choose to follow along in a manner that you enjoy, I recommend checking out the vital statistics on the back, because for me it was kind of like oh my gosh, I'm so excited to encounter what we might encounter in this story. So,
true that, brother.
Grab yourself a copy and follow along, folks.
And one last thing before we start, because I don't know, I'm gonna try to keep getting these books, but really we're just trying to have a good time here. We'll read any choose your own adventure books, if that's the thing. I don't think they go by that name because of what I'm about to say. When I looked up Choose Your Own Adventure, they're like a brand. They're owned by this company, Chooseco now, or Chooseco. I don't know what they prefer. Their picture's a cool black dragon. It's on both these books here that I have. They got a website, www.cyoa.com. It says to visit them online. I have no idea what's there. I have not visited them online. I will give it a look-see. Maybe we'll do that. Also, if we have time, I have no idea what to expect. It's probably going to be a crazy ride. And Chooseco actually sued Netflix.
For that whole Bandersnatch thing. You were telling me that.
Because they must own the rights or something. I don't know. I was just reading on their Wikipedia page that because Bandersnatch, I guess they use the phrase Choose Your Own Adventure because it's literally a Choose Your Own Adventure book, whatever the extent of their rights on this.
The format is the
exactly,
same.
Whatever exists. I didn't look into it more, but there was some sort of lawsuit. So that's interesting. Please don't sue us, Chooseco. I already love your book. We're not making any money anyway, but if that's ever a thing. So there you go.
We're happy to plug you. So if you do want to follow along with the podcast, because
I already like everything I'm seeing, and I love your dragon. It's like a cool looking.
We recommend visiting.
Looks like Mushu from Mulan if he was like an angry, cool silhouette, and not Mushu from Mulan.
Hit up www.cyoa.com and get yourself a copy of these books and follow along, folks.
And there you go. And let us begin. All right, so here's a bunch of the other books, but I don't want to spoil that. Even though one's catch my eye called Search for the Mountain Gorillas, which sounds very similar to the Abominable Snowman, so I'm curious about that one. Anyway, we got the cover page here, The Abominable Snowman by R.A. Montgomery, and there's another illustration.
It looks to be of a mountain landscape, some kind of icy glacial landscape. They seem to be climbing up a very steep face with
this guy's walking.
With
this
guy
in the back's walking. He's like, oh, thank God.
But they're all tethered together, and they're climbing this steep face.
Yeah.
With little ice picks. Looks like.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They all got the ropes attached to each other. It looks like there's like a death chasm. So that's good. That's good. These kids made me really nervous.
The illustrations, by the way, I have to say, are really good.
John Talon really shook me with his. Sorry, I'm just nervous. I'm excited, but I don't want to die. I don't know what's even going on. I read that these books are in second person, so that should be interesting.
It really throws you into the mind of the character.
Okay, and then right here we have a dedication, I guess by R.A. Montgomery, I would assume. This book is dedicated to Anson and Ramsay. Cool names.
I don't know if it's just me, but whenever...
It's like Game of Thrones names. Well, Ramsay is, but also Anson.
My initial reaction whenever something is like dedicated to someone, or whenever I read something, it's like, oh, this thing is dedicated to whoever. My initial reaction, 98% of the time, is fuck that person.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Because you don't have a book.
I wish no
ill will.
You want
me to dedicate a book to
I
you.
wish no ill will against that person. I don't wish them any harm. I don't even know that person.
So maybe it's not even an angry fuck.
It's not. It's just like fuck. It's an extra page in my life that I have to go through. Like, you're so important. You have to get something dedicated to you, you guy. I don't know.
I just like to read the dedication.
It's such a guttural reaction that makes no sense. And as soon as I feel that way, I'm just like, you're an asshole for even thinking that way.
It's funny because I think like the total opposite, dude. I don't think fuck you. I get this weird vision in my head of some weird flashback in this guy's life and R.A. Montgomery's life, and I know what he looks like, and he's big, and he's got the suit on, he's smoking cigars all the time in the 50s, he's got his big 50s glasses, and he's standing there, and he's before he even writes the book, he's like, this book, I don't know if he's from the South, I forgot, where's he from?
He's from, it looks like Connecticut, and then he lived in Vermont while he was writing these books.
So this isn't his accent, but it's my accent for him. This book is dedicated to Anson and Ramsay, and to Roland Palmetto. That's a dank name. Roland Palmetto. Well, I hope we can learn a thing or two about him. Maybe we can look him up too.
Shout out to Palmetto. We are in Brooklyn. There's a Palmetto Street. We are very close to it. Maybe he's related. God, you're right. Maybe there's some relation.
I think you might be right. Hopefully. Up! And I turned the page and we got right away, beware and warning. Beware and warning in all capital letters with an exclamation point at the end. This book is different from other books. It's that's why I bought it. That's why, not all books say choose your adventure on them. That's kind of the thing. But, I guess it's good to warn people. I'm freaking out, so. You and you alone are in charge of what happens in this story. That's what I'm saying. They're really building. The kids are building it up. This is building up here. Here, Tejj, you take some.
Let's see here. And one thing I do have to say is, if you are following along with the book itself, I like how they've done...
It's kind of written like Star Wars, right?
I was just about to say that. They've done kind of like a scrolling Star Wars font in order to build the tension as you read it. It's quite fantastic. I'm already on board. So let me just, let's backtrack and I'll read from the top of the page.
I'll give you some Star Wars music too along with it. Ready?
It says, this book is different from other books. You, and you alone, are in charge of what happens in this story.
I don't know how copyright works.
There are dangers, choices, adventures, and consequences. You must use all of your numerous talents and much of your enormous intelligence. The wrong decision could end in disaster and even death.
You gotta be even death.
But don't despair. At any time, you can go back and make another choice. Alter the path of your story and change the result. It's like we're...
that made me feel a little better.
It's like we're time travelers in Looper, if we've ever seen that movie.
I've seen Looper.
With Bruce Willis, where he goes back and has to kill himself, basically.
You know what happened to me when I saw that movie. I told you.
We spoke about it. It's a very interesting movie if you haven't seen it.
I was bugging out the whole time.
I didn't really spoil it for you because you could have figured out what I said from the trailer.
It was crazy.
And if you didn't figure that out from the trailer, then you're probably lost from the get-go. So watch the movie; it's great. Moving on, it says you and your best friend Carlos have traveled to Nepal in search of the fabled Yeti or Abominable Snowman. So
I guess
me and Carlos were homies. I guess we're ride or die, and
cool,
we're searching for this Yeti. So Carlos is the homie, guys. Carlos is the homie.
We don't have a name, so maybe we should give our character a name. We'll get to that when the book starts, though. We'll give our character a name we think is fitting, so we can discuss it.
You know, I think that's a great opportunity to get some fan interaction. Why don't we let them decide?
You guys can decide
what our name should be. We'll make like a group name. I don't know how we'll do it. Maybe
Good idea.
Maybe we'll have our producer whip up a spreadsheet of all the various choices and how many times they all show up, and then we could vote on them. I'm just kidding. Charlie's looking at me like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
We're not going to do any of that, but you know,
The name your own podcast.
you could leave a comment, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do.
But we'll try to figure out the name.
Medium is.
But the most important thing is not our name, but is that Carlos is the homie. Remember that, folks. Carlos is the homie.
We already know. They're letting you know right here. Let me get to this. Where were they? Last year, while the two of you were mountain climbing in South America. Okay. All right, so I'm getting a Hispanic vibe, maybe South America. Okay. A guide told you about the legendary creature, and you haven't stopped thinking about the Yeti since.
Interesting.
How'd you know it was a Yeti, though? I want to know more about. Maybe we'll learn more about it in the book. I want to maybe they like. I don't know. I'm curious what they saw already.
My brain immediately goes to if you're climbing in South America. I know there are a few very very high peaks that are very cold, but the
Nepal,
the vastness of the
They got some
difference
cold
between the Himalayan mountains and something in South America might be something that maybe our characters and therefore in and of them ourselves are not ready for. Foreshadowing? Question mark?
I'm just imagining like a found footage film from before the prequel to this book where it's like where it's like the cam's really shaky and he's like, oh my god, where's Carlos? And then you kind of see like some like hairy arm. He's like, oh, there it is, and then they freaked out and like he was like lost in the woods in some like woods labyrinth for hours or something, something crazy. Anyway, Carlos arrived and went straight into the mountains when a Yeti sighting was reported. Okay. He hasn't been heard from in 3 days. A late monsoon storm has moved in and the mountains are almost impassable.
Carlos to me sounds like a very selfish human being.
Oh, wait, so...
He wanted to discover
I'm
the Yeti.
I'm a little upset now. I thought we were going to be in this with Carlos.
See, this is
a
what happens.
rescue mission now.
Now it's become a rescue mission because Carlos wanted to go out on his own without his team, without his group, in order to maybe claim...
That's like the first rule if you're climbing mountains in Nepal.
My first guess is that he's trying to, claim the discovery for himself. Carlos, I'm disappointed in you.
I think whoever this guy is, let me just say, he doesn't have a nameless man.
Us. We.
I think I don't know. I got a feeling him and Carlos might have had a falling out or something. That's what I'm saying. I think maybe the before was when they first saw it. It was serious. Maybe Carlos isn't in danger. Maybe there's something more happening. Maybe it runs deeper. Maybe Carlos was asking him to come and he didn't come, and then eventually Carlos went off on his own and no one heard from him.
You know what? There's only one way to find out.
Well, hold on. Oh well, I think I'll read it again, or you could read it this time, Tejj.
So it says, I'll just to backtrack, it says, a late monsoon storm has moved in and the mountains are almost impassable. Carlos will depend on you to do the right thing. But what is it?
And that is a good question that we will try to answer. Oh, and it just starts instantly. All right. Should I read it in a dramatic voice? I'll try to. It probably won't work.
I think we could probably just go in kind of regular to build the story.
We'll see how it goes. You are a mountain climber. 3 years ago, you spent the summer at a climbing school in the mountains of Colorado. Okay. All right, Colorado. All right.
So we're used to high altitudes. That's what we've learned from that sentence.
That's good. Your instructors said that you had natural skills as a climber. Okay, that's good. I don't really know how you would gauge something like that, but that's because I've done rock climbing.
Strong hands,
not in the way you're supposed to.
Thick forearms. Like supple hips to make them adjustable climbs. You know what I'm saying?
Fit.
A long reach.
Fit, dude. You probably got a lot of stamina.
You definitely have some stamina on you, and you're definitely really good at manipulating your own body weight. Keep that in mind.
Listen to this one. You made rapid progress, and by the end of the summer, you were leading difficult rock and ice climbs. Dude's a pro. Rock and ice, we're spanning across. We got all the skills.
He's so good that he's climbing ice in the summer. He's a genius.
Yeah, rock and ice climbs, bro. I think it's probably summer and winter, but that summer, I guess we'll switch up by pages. That makes sense, right? For now, at least.
If you haven't realized, folks, we are figuring this out as we go.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. We want you guys to be on this adventure with us.
We're also thinking about, maybe uploading like PDFs or like something for you guys to follow along with us.
Mm-hmm.
We're even considering maybe recording, like video recordings, so you guys can see what's going on. We can present you, maybe have like a screen that we can show you like pictures that are like the illustrations that are in this book.
If we can get in touch with Chooseco and you guys like what you hear, we will definitely try to do that in the most legal way possible.
That being said, let's dive right back in.
Yes. That summer, you became close friends with a boy named Carlos. See, I kind of like the dramatic voice. The two of you made a good climbing team. Okay. Last year, you and he were chosen to join an international team. Jeez. Dude hasn't been doing this for that long. And he is killing it. And it's good to make friends. Good for him. The expedition made it to the top of the two unclimbed peaks in South America. One night on that expedition, the group was seated around the cook tent at the base camp. The expedition leader, Franz, told stories of climbing in the Himalayas, the highest mountains in the world. So there you go, educational too. And then over here it says turn to page 2, then to page 4. So that's thank you for that. That's good to,
Beautiful mountain illustration, wonderful pencil shading.
Oh, yeah.
They've illustrated for us about, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks about 8 peaks.
With the names.
With the names. And, 9 peaks actually. There's a smaller
1, 2,
base
3,
camp.
4, 5,
peak.
6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 9 peaks. We got this small peak over here, Kathmandu.
I think that's that seems to be the base camp maybe? And
That's
then these are the higher peaks.
We got Annapurna. Purna, I don't know how they say it. Annapurna.
Yeah, Annapurna. Oh, these are the Himalayan mountains. Oh, they are.
Yeah.
I was about to say these are very Indian sounding mountain peaks, and that would make sense.
Here you get some.
The first one's Annapurna. The second one is Gosantan.
Oh, you got this.
The second
this
one.
This is Tej's specialty.
The second one is Machapuchare. The fourth one is Changste.
See, I'd be like Changst, or like something like that. I don't freaking
The fifth one is Lost.
I'd be like Lost.
Yeah, Everest is the most famous one, obviously. That's the sixth one.
It is in the middle, apparently.
Or the fifth one, rather.
I think this is an accurate depiction of the mountains, probably, right?
It looks rather real.
Ari Montgomery seems like a guy who
you could have fooled. Like, I'd be goofed if I was wrong, but you could have fooled me. But
I think Ari Montgomery was not playing around. I think kids reading this book, and he wrote it for his kids with cool names or whoever they are. I don't even know where the page went. Jeez. Anson and Ramsey and Roland, Palmetto, all those dudes and ladies.
So just to wrap up, then we have Makalu, and then Kagangunjaga, and then Pashnuri.
Okay, yeah, totally. Beautiful picture. We got fog, like a thick fog on the lower ends of the mountains, and there's like some forestry, thick fog, lower peaks that are kind of black, and then gets whiter as it goes up to like the whitest peak at the top of Everest. Here you go, Tejj.
All right. So my eyes immediately go to an illustration of what seem to be very large feet.
Yeah, those don't look right.
With what looks to be a very, very large middle toe, which is weird, right? Like, it looks like...
This toe does not look right. There's something wrong with this. If that's the Abominable Snowman, he's got foot issues.
So we've got basically an illustration that's about a quarter of the page. The illustration takes about a quarter of the page. It's just weird-looking feet, footsteps.
Into, like, the nothing.
Into the nothing,
exactly. I like their use of negative space. You really only see, like, some gray, that's like the snow, and the footprints that are all black and black and white's like a manga.
So the text reads, "The Himalayas form a great natural wall between India and China, with Nepal tucked amid the peaks. Everest, K2, and Annapurna are the best known mountains in the Himalayas. K2 is also a very dangerous substance that is a synthetic marijuana that I do not recommend that any of the children listening to this podcast ever experiment
You
with.
know what happened when we saw Looper. Well, you weren't there, but Dan was there, our mutual friend.
Because very bad things can happen to both your lungs and your cerebral and neuro system. So if you're going to smoke pot, kids, just smoke pot. Don't do any of this K2 bullshit.
And do it legally. They got laws and stuff.
And do it
now.
legally these days. Just wait till you're
That's very
18.
true.
Wait till your mind is developed. And
Winners don't do drugs, kids. I'm just kidding.
tell that to Lance
I
Armstrong.
mean, winners don't do drugs when you're a child. When you're an adult, you can smoke some weed if you want.
That being said, okay, let me just wrap back up. So it says
in a legal
Everest,
state.
K2,
Yes.
and
Back on
Annapurna
topic.
are the best-known mountains in the Himalayas. These and many other peaks have been climbed. Still, others lie in remote areas where few humans have ever gone. Interesting. So it looks like the famous ones are the ones that are tough to climb, but there are some that people just don't even venture because they're
less
venturable.
The trail less taken, or whatever you know the old saying of whoever said it that time.
There, said France, is the high valleys beneath the snowfields live the Yeti. Sometimes called the Abominable Snowman. And now this is France talking. He says,
That sounds like they know for a fact. So I'm already okay.
Right. So now this is France talking, and forgive me for all our German listeners, but
You're gonna be friends.
this is my best German accent.
Tejj will be friends.
The Yeti is said to be a huge beast,
I like it.
France tells you. Perhaps a cross between a gorilla and a human. People cannot agree
That's what we were
what
saying.
it is.
That's the first thing I said. He looked like a gorilla with a human face.
Wearing a
It's
shirt.
good to get reassurance. Thank you.
Is the Yeti dangerous? Carlos asked. Friends shrugged. Some say it is. Other people say the Yeti is very gentle. Have you ever seen one? You inquire. No, almost no one has. The best proof of the Yeti's existence is a set of very large footprints discovered in the 1950s by a British expedition. No one has ever photographed one that I have heard. Franz answers.
You fact check this.
But still, the
fiction
stories
book?
persist.
I think we should fact check this fiction book. You're telling me, I believe it. I'm not even saying I don't believe it. I'm saying R.A. Montgomery is a very good writer because That's an interesting fact. If I was a kid, I'd be interested in learning about the Abominable Snowman. That's probably why I picked the book out. Be like, oh, that sounds like a crazy adventure. That just sounds awesome.
Or you're tired with the structure of regular novels and you said, I want to pick my own journey.
You know what's interesting? Look. This says, over here, turn to page 2, then 4, but over here it says go on to the next page.
Right.
So this is easing you through it.
Yeah, this is all just the beginning.
They're
So
easing you through it. It's nice. There's a decision coming up, so here we go.
We're presented with our first choice in this next page.
Here we go.
Buckle up.
You and Carlos decided then and there to find the Yeti. When you returned from South America, the two of you raised money from the International Foundation for Research into Strange Phenomenon. Ooh. I'm interested in that. Your goal, proof positive that Yeti exists. You will find the photograph, the Yeti. You will find and photograph the Yeti, pardon me. That makes sense, yeah. Okay, so we're trying to find some proof of the Yeti. I mean, we must be some really good climbers, dude. We got it. First of all, pretty sure somewhere over here. It says, where is it? A boy named Carlos. So I'm assuming we're pretty young, or we're an adult, and we've had a young companion.
We are definitely either
like
in
an Indiana
adolescence.
Jones.
Yeah, we're either in the teenage years or
was
the
that really young
adolescence.
kid from? Oh, I forgot his name. From who's always like Mr. Jones, in Temple of Doom.
Oh, I have no idea.
You know who I'm talking about.
I really have no idea.
You don't know about Indiana Jones?
I have seen all of them,
We'll
but
check that.
I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but maybe it's that kind of situation. Anyway, that is what brings you to Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. Your problems, though, have already begun. 2 days ago, Carlos left by helicopter to look over the terrain near Mount Everest. Okay, so I'm glad, so they did go together, it seems. The helicopter returned without him. What? How long were they? Alright, well, let's get ready. The pilot told you that Carlos decided to stay up at the Everest base camp to check out a report that a Yeti had been seen. By himself? Well, Carlos is a psychopath. He had a radio transmitter, but you have received no word from him. Oh boy. The weather turned bad and radio communication was interrupted. You have an appointment to speak with R.N. Runel, the director of expeditions and mountain research, and an authority on the Yeti. Okay, cool. He knows of your plans.
How does...
What?
Time out. How does one become an authority on a mythical, never photographed, never seen creature?
You know, he wrote it so elegantly that it just sounds like
You just went with it.
Real.
You just went with it.
This dude, whatever universe these books take in that are like our reality.
Like, if there's a Yeti, that's the guy to talk
The Yeti's real. There's not even a question. These pictures might be under debate in this universe.
So far, we don't know. That's why we're in this journey to find him.
Seems like they're really giving.
So so far in this universe, from what we know, if we were to find a Yeti, this is the guy we got to talk to.
He's the authority on the Yeti. He's an authority on the Yeti. So there's other ones also. Maybe we'll learn about them. I feel like R.N. Runel kind of sounds like R.A. Montgomery. Maybe he's also like a burly man who one time tackled the Bigfoot and battled him, but couldn't keep him for long enough in his grip. Can you imagine? Anyway, he knows. He knows of your plans. You need his help with official permits for the expedition. We gotta get them permits. He will also have good advice and information. But what about Carlos? Here we go. Our decisions are: if you decide to cancel your meeting with Runel and search for Carlos, turn to page 7. Then down here we have: if you feel that Carlos is okay and go ahead with your plan to meet Runel, turn to page 8. So we're either deciding to not go to this dude who seems like a well-informed dude on I don't know how much he can really know, so maybe it's a waste of time, I guess, but I don't think so. It seems like the Yeti's pretty legit. Or, like, are we rushing in to save our friend, or are we going to go in smart? Are we going to take our time to be safer, and are we going to get information from this dude, from Mr. Runel?
Right, so I found this interesting because I believe before I said this kind of setup would force us to make interesting moral choices.
100%.
This is not technically a moral choice that we're being forced to make. It's a logistic one. It's, like you said, do we rush in and go with our gut? Or do we make the smart play and budget enough time to get our knowledge and then
I agree with you, but it is sort of moral because it's also the idea of is it worth it? You know, like, you know how dangerous it is. I mean, I guess we don't. It seems pretty dangerous. Carlos seems kind of a little reckless. So I'd like to learn a little more about him, as I said before. I'm a little worried about Carlos because he got dropped off in the mountains by himself to find a giant monster. So that just doesn't seem like the kind of thinking you do when you're a man who wants to live. So what I'm thinking is that this is his friend.
I mean, on top of that, lately he's been posting a lot of, like, solo Snapchats by the water and stuff, like, bumping,
his Instagram's been really sad.
Bumping, like, Kid Cudi, and he just has me worried, okay? That's all I'm trying to say.
He hasn't even Snapchatted me in 2 weeks. Anyway, so we're in the 80s. Not really, I wish. Not really either, because then I would be dead sooner, probably. Anyway, so what I'm saying is it's like, yes, it is logistics, but in a logistical situation, it's like, obviously you go to the guy first. But the question here is it even worth, because there's a time constraint. Right now, the moment Carlos lost transmission looking for this Yeti, he could be dead at any moment, bro. You saw these footsteps? You got to decide, like, if you having the information is... Because, yes, it will help you, I agree, from a tactical standpoint, of course, but maybe, you know, you're not thinking in a rational mind. This might be all more... You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not thinking with logic right now. We're thinking about Carlos. How do we feel about Carlos? And to be honest, I don't know much about Carlos, and this seems pretty hectic, so we should probably do the opposit of Carlos and get information. That's what I've decided. What do you think, Dave?
I think that's the right play. I think just in life, guys, approaching any situation without the proper information can lead to disaster, regardless of what your situation is.
100%.
So if you're ever presented with anything in life and you have the opportunity to do a little research, I would take the opportunity to do the research and come back at the problem with a little bit more knowledge. So I think Blitz is 100% right here. I think what we should do is flip to page 8 and go talk to our guy.
You know, it's just a matter of, and you know, you get what I'm saying. It's for us, for nameless man who is us. You know, Carlos is your friend. You might think like, no, if we go to that guy, I might run out of time. You know, so there is like a moral. It's like, is it worth making yourself safer, or is it, that time, it's all about that in-between time where you don't know what happened to Carlos and you're spending time doing other stuff. So I see what they're going for here. I think it is a little, it is more logistical. It wasn't a hard one to make, I don't think, because Carlos is a psychopath. If he went with like 5 people and something bad happened and then they broke out, then maybe you rush over there. But it seems like Carlos might just need to go see a therapist.
Or just talk about your feelings, man. I'm here for you.
So wait here, what page are we going to?
I think we're going to 8, right?
Right, but you know what? Hold on. It says if you feel that Carlos is okay, go ahead. I just want to be clear. I don't think we think Carlos is okay. We just...
Yeah, you know what?
We just think it's worth
you bring
the
up
time.
You bring up a good point. The way the choices are worded is kind of like guiding.
This is why it's moral. It's like, Carlos is fine.
Yeah.
But let's do it. You know what?
I think that's a smart play.
We're thinking with logical brains right now. I don't know much about Carlos other than that he's making poor decisions. We're friends, but I don't know what about what I don't know a lot about
the smart place to find out about the Yeti, right. So we can make a move.
So let's go to page 8. Here you go, Tejj.
All right, here we go. You walk down a street bordered by tall pines. They are green-blue, and the branches and needles are very fine and delicate. Hanging from the upper branches are what looks like huge, tear-shaped, blackish-brown fruit. Ooh. You stop and look up, wondering what they are. Then, one moves, spreads giant wings, and flaps off.
It's a bat.
They're bats.
It's a bat.
The largest bats you've ever seen. You reach the foreign ministry, and you are shown to a waiting room. You wait a few minutes, and then are ushered in to meet R.N. Runel, Director of Expeditions and Mountain Research for the Nepalese government.
Well, can I do his voice?
Yeah, go for it, Blitz. Go for it, Blitz.
You're already that German dude. Or maybe he's Austrian. Right? He could be Austrian. I'm Austrian. My last name's Austrian. Everyone's always like, Blitz, like Blitzkrieg, German. I'm like, no. Welcome to our country. We wish you wait. Dude's not English.
They're in Nepal.
I don't know what Nepalese people sound like, so maybe I'll still do that. Welcome to our country. We wish you success, but I have some bad news. The expedition you have proposed could be very dangerous. You look at him not knowing what to expect. Jeez, see, he's wasting our time.
This freaking guy.
Those bats, relative to the tree, those bats are pretty big. No, you know what? We don't know how big that branch is.
Dude, bats have cool arms and stuff.
Bats are cool, yeah, that's cool.
It says flip to page, now it says, we were on page 8, now it says flip to page 10, okay.
Back in the sleepaway camp days.
So go along with your voice.
Okay, hold on. Back in the sleepaway camp days, we used to, have to hit bat. If there was a bat in your bunk, that was a problem because you would all have to get crazy rabies shots. So people were really crazy, especially our counselors, about killing bats. So just makes me happy to see these bats that are bigger and more scary because these bats were very poor and defenseless. And looking back on it, I feel bad for the bats. And they're just fruit bats. It seems like just really big ones. They're just chilling. Oh well, they were the fruits, so who knows? All right, let's see. Recently, a large expedition set out without telling us that they were going after the Yeti. Says Runel, I don't know why I read that in his voice, they used guns and traps and tried to kill one of them. The Yeti was angry. I know that. We have checked up on you. Oh, no, that's the wrong part. Mr. Runel. Oh, is this us? This is us. Mr. Runel, we just want to find a Yeti. We have no intention of ever hurting a Yeti. Okay, cool. I know that. We have checked up on you. It is a shame about the others. I must advise against going into Yeti territory. I can arrange a trip for you into the Terai region. Sounds like a Star Wars game I used to have. Out of the mountains, in the jungle area, you could photograph and study the tigers. They are famous and are also dangerous. They're famous and also dangerous. Later, perhaps, you could conduct the expedition you are leading.
Interesting. So he's trying to... So, just to me, off the bat, it just sounds like he's trying to throw us off the scent. He's like, oh, you want to go on this expedition, but how about you come check out my cool tigers first before you go?
It's like, bro, our friend's missing. What about Carlos? We gotta go save Carlos.
So it says, now we're faced with two choices here. It says, if you decide to go ahead with the expedition for the Yeti, turn to page 16.
Okay.
If you decide to postpone the expedition to let the Yeti calm down and go to the Terai region in search of tigers, turn to page 19.
All right.
That just seems like the wrong choice.
It seems like we're not doing that because we just found out bad stuff happened. So now it's like we gotta go. We did waste time. We gotta go save. We didn't even learn much.
Yeah,
dude slowed us down.
We learned nothing. He slowed us down.
To be fair, this picture on the next page with the tigers,
very cute.
They're beautiful. They're very beautiful creatures. It's a very nice painting. Not painting. It's a drawing.
Sketch drawing. Yeah.
Sketch. So it doesn't look very nice. It doesn't look like an uncomfortable terrain. Looks like a nice jungle experience, but we gotta go save our friend.
I think we can both agree that we're going to page 16. We're saying forget the tigers. We're going on this expedition.
I mean, yeah, it's literally like you just told us it was urgent, so now we gotta go. We gotta go. Or Carlos, and maybe we don't care about Carlos that much. I think we gotta help our friend out, and I think me and Tejj agree. Let's do it.
Off to page 16 we go. All right. So it says, "I appreciate your warning and any kind offer of the alternative to go to Tarai."
We'll just both read
say.
the main character parts.
We are committed to this expedition. We will search for the Yeti with openness and friendship. R.N. Runel nods his head and speaks quickly to his assistant in Nepali. Within minutes, you have the necessary papers for the expedition, stamped in the proper places with the official seal of Nepalese government. Looks like we made the right choice.
Mr. R.N. got our back in the end.
As you shake hands before leaving, he stops you. Uh-oh. He's about it. You see, just when you thought that he had your back.
I got that. Listen, this is us in real time. This is what I'm feeling.
All right, so it says as you shake hands before leaving, he stops you.
If you are determined to go on your expedition, it could be easier and safer if I come with you.
What should you do? Having a government official along with you might cause delays and bureaucratic snafus. On the other hand, he could also smooth the way.
We going with the law or not? What are our options?
So we have two options, like it says. If you accept Runel's offer to join you, turn to page 24.
Okay.
If you decline his offer, turn to page 27. What do you think? Do we want this like
Here's
this
what I'm
little
worried about.
bureaucratic stuffer?
Here's what I'm worried about. I think you're right. Maybe this dude has some stakes. Maybe not, but also, he has more power than us. We're just scientists, but we're just trying to do some paranormal, cryptid, as you would call him, I guess he's a cryptid research. And I don't want to say we should disobey a government official in a country, international, we're not in America. We're in a different country. We came here. It just kind of seems like I want to decline his offer, and I think we should maybe, but also this dude's got all the power, and if he's saying he wants to come, I don't think it's because he's helpful. I don't know. I just got this feeling. His name's R.N. Runel. It's like a name of a sophisticated man who I could imagine having his own... I don't know. I just imagine him sophisticated and behind the scenes is like, Gloria, get the drills. We're digging into Bigfoot's mine. Like he knows some stuff nobody knows about.
So here's what I think, right? I already kind of don't trust the guy, right?
Because what if he goofs us?
Because he already kind of tried to goof us with the tigers. So I already kind of don't trust the guy, right? So this is what I think.
But if we decline...
But let me get there.
Let me hear you.
So he already tried to goof us once with the tigers by trying to kind of lead us off the trail. But then when we kind of told him no, he was very quick to give us exactly what we wanted and appease us almost, and then tried to stick along with it.
Try to give us like a sweet gig, right?
I kind of just don't trust this guy for whatever reason.
Let's decline it.
But I think
maybe you do.
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. If I've got a little,
we're going down, we're taking
exactly
that fucker RN with us. If he's not really there for our best interest.
Exactly, and I think
I agree with that.
If he knows something and he's like, "Oh, let me come with you," because he thinks we'll say, "No, you'll be fine." I think we should call his bluff and take him with us.
I think here's a possibility. I agree totally. So we're on the same page, exactly. I think he's up to no good. Maybe we should take him with us. I'm saying maybe it is better. That's a good way to put it. Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, because if we say no, we're either gonna... Maybe we're smart about it, maybe we're like, oh man, I guess I'll just do the tigers and then do some... But I don't know. We're not cheating, I don't know what's gonna happen.
And like it says in the book, having a powerful bureaucrat on your side can't fucking hurt that
exactly.
bad.
And it's like, yeah, if we say no... Maybe right there, maybe if we're just like, nah, he's just gonna be like, alright, I'm putting restrictions on your ass. I don't know.
Right, you don't want to upset him. You want to keep him close, but you want to keep an eye on him. And,
we don't know if he's an enemy, but he doesn't really sound that trustworthy. Literally, you're right, he was literally, diverting our attention so quickly.
And then was so quick to give us what we wanted.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess that's him.
Yeah, I think it's that one probably.
And that's us.
I think, yeah.
I guess we're
Maybe.
Asian. I guess we look Asian. I'm confused. I don't know. That's interesting. It's like a picture there in his like office or something. There's no seats. And there's like some cool buildings with some cool architecture in the background behind the window.
So I think we're gonna accept his offer, right? We're gonna take him with us.
Let's accept his offer. Keep your enemies
24.
closer.
24.
All right, I got this one. Now that he's a member of your expedition, Runel sends out a government team to set up your base camp and find Carlos. Oh, cool. Okay. That's good. We got people we don't know what they're doing, but
So we helped us set up a base camp.
Success!
Which is nice. Yeah.
Yes, us. Carlos is found and rejoins you. Wait, what? Oh, we found. We found Carlos already. I'm sorry. Okay. I gotta read this again. Now that he's a member of your expedition, Rural sends a government team to set up your base camp and find Carlos. Success! I thought that meant like we negotiated successfully. It worked out. Nope. Carlos is found and rejoins you. Boom, baby. Carlos,
think we're making
you're a
the right
crazy
decisions.
son of a bitch. But we got you. We're here with backup. We're gonna find this guy Bigfoot.
Mi
We're gonna make
gente.
sure- yeah. All right.
Dale.
Runel turns out to be an excellent team member. Yes, Runel. Yes. I feel bad now. We were so suspicious. I mean, it's not our fault, dude. He was literally
See, that's
like,
why taking him
what
is the
about
right-
the tiger? Save your friend.
That's why
How about the
taking-
tigers?
That's
I
why
don't know I
taking
changed his
him
voice,
is the
but I
right is the right play, right? Because like even if he is up to no good, you have him with you. But if he ends up being an asset, then it's a win-win.
He was. This is what I imagine happened. He put his arm on us and he was like, "Listen, we're gonna bring your friend out of this." Like right after, in between these pages, that's
You know what you
there was
sound
some
like?
nice.
You sound like in
warm-
South Park when they make George Bush's voice in South Park. That's literally the voice you just used for R.N. Ronald. Listen, we're gonna bring your.
Sounds like Richard Nixon. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
I am not a crook, and we are reading an adventure book. Okay. All right. So I mean, this is good. This is good. 6 porters carry your food and tents and supplies. Cool. This leaves you free to explore the steep valley sides and the small villages along the way.
I wonder if our
Sounds like a
viewers.
sick trip.
I wonder if our viewers are abreast to what a porter is. A porter is somebody
You're a genius.
who's basically just someone who carries your stuff for you. They're common in foreign countries in like train platforms and bus stops and stuff.
I did
and
not
they're,
know this. This is very interesting.
They're basically it's a line of work where people just carry shit from point A to point B. They pick things up and put them down.
I
so
cannot
like
do that, but that reminds me of Goku's training in Dragon Ball.
yeah.
When he has to just like Master Roshi's like, I'll not train you no more till you punch this rock, or like you lift this rock, and he's like, hi, he like pokes it and it explodes, whatever.
Porters are very common in like India and China and stuff like that. If you get off like a train in India or China, you'll have like usually one of like a local man will run up to you and like offer to carry your bags for you. And watching them carry suitcases is fucking crazy because they're gonna have like
Yeah, this sounds
they'll
really
have like
crazy.
they'll have like 2
I'm very
suitcases on their heads and then like one under each arm and then one in each hand. So they're carrying like 6 suitcases.
Sounds like we should be going to Nepal.
It's like their job to just carry stuff. So it's very interesting to watch. So basically they hired 6 of these guys to carry all their stuff, all their hiking gear and their base camp equipment to get up the
And
get
tell
up
me
the
not,
mountain.
tell me not. This guy's got a sweet mask. We see a picture of him walking up the mountain.
See how he's got the straps on his head and everything?
Yeah,
Yep.
they got straps on their head. They're carrying tons of stuff in these baskets. Like, I mean, it looks like, I don't even know, food, tent, everything they say.
If I had to
All
guess the
stuff
weight,
food,
I would say
tent,
it's at
plus-
least 50 to 70 pounds in each basket.
Easily. And look, this guy's got a closed one, maybe with the food and stuff, and he's wearing like a mask or something, or maybe he's got a, you know what I'm saying? Look.
Yeah, I think it might just be like a...
Like this for the snow or something.
yeah,
maybe, like, he's just
and he
wearing
also got a big
something.
beard, right? He's got a little big beard.
Kind of
thing
see that
going
too,
on.
yeah. And he's got like cool, like prayer beads, you know, that kind of thing, like some rosary beads.
Mhm.
I like that guy. He looks cool. Cool dude. Would be cool.
So yeah, sorry to divert, but that's what a porter is.
No,
in
thank
case,
God.
in case
We're
the-
all learning stuff today.
In case
I
the
know
people were
stuff
like,
too
what the fuck is a
sometimes.
porter? That's what a porter is.
Tejj, I'm glad you're very knowledgeable on this area of the world.
I appreciate that.
I did not know any of that. I know stuff about other places, I guess. I know stuff. But that was very informative. I've never seen a... I mean, I've seen a porter in stuff, but I never knew that's what a porter was, you know? Very interesting. It also kind of, this picture just like makes me think of Lord of the Rings automatically, just because like...
The mountainscape
long
and
mountain
the
shots
the
and the
journey
hiking.
and the...
So I will say that. Okay, so where are we? The days are long. beginning at first light and going until sunset. Your legs ache from the constant pounding as you walk along the narrow trails which have served these Nepalese people for hundreds of years. Badass. This also makes me think of Iron Fist. I don't even know why. I don't think it's even the same. Just like mountains and monks. I don't know. Above you are bright blue skies, dotted with clouds. The snow and ice flanks of Lhotse. Is that how you pronounce it? Lhotse.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
God, yes. I don't know, you got the good. And Pumori. The ice flanks of Lhotse and Pumori and Everest rise above the green of the lower slopes. Alright, yeah, that's a pretty accurate description. I mean, we got it in black and white, but I can imagine those colors on there, all the green. And oh, now we just turn to the next page, so let's see what happens. Here you go.
As you approach a village, Runal points out a large building with a red roof which stands above the small, neat houses clustered around it. That's the monastery where there lives a monk. A Buddhist monk who has lived with the Yeti. But I thought no one had really seen one. I thought no one alive had spent time with the Yeti.
Wait.
Runal answers,
This is crazy.
a well-kept secret. Those who share the secret knowledge of the Yeti are pledged to reveal this knowledge only to appointed people.
This is some like Illuminati shit.
You and you alone.
Bruno, my man, he's getting us connects you would not have otherwise.
We should.
This is some. He's a
we
rich
made,
man.
We made the right choice.
Thank
ladies
God
and
we made
gentlemen.
the right choice. I was very worried about Carlos. They literally handled that situation like champs, and we now just met
See, this is why
a
it's always-
sage who chills with. When I read this book, especially after they said Bigfoot was pissed off, we're befriending Bigfoot, bro. I'm trying to be this guy's dude. They're chilling. He's chilling with this guy. They're hanging out. All's cool. We're learning a lot of interesting stuff. We just wanted to take pictures anyway. I'm definitely. Let's try to calm Bigfoot down. We don't want anyone getting hurt. We don't want Bigfoot getting hurt. I'm already feeling the love for this Bigfoot who hangs out with frickin' monks.
Not only that, this kind of compounds what I said at the very beginning, right? If we had just, big dicked it and gone to look for Carlos
wouldn't have found
ourselves,
this guy.
we wouldn't have done any of this.
No.
So it's always pays to do your little bit of research
Yeah.
before you attack a situation.
100%.
So, just to backtrack, we just discovered that it is, I'll say it again, a well-kept secret. Those who share the secret knowledge of the Yeti are pledged to reveal this knowledge only to appointed people. You and you alone are one of the appointed. It has been
This is some serious shit.
It has been seen in the stars. It has been read in your hand. What do you mean? Who saw it in the stars? Who read it in my hand? We're asking the right questions.
Brunel does not answer for several minutes. I'm imagining this situation right now. This guy's like, what does he say? Let me see. A well-kept secret. Those who, oh wait, no, that's just Runel. Does this monk guy say anything or no? The monk guy.
No, the monk guy. We haven't even.
This is just all Runel.
We haven't even seen the monk guy yet. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm excited.
So
Runel's
our character says, "What do you mean? Who saw it in the stars? Who read it in my hand?" Runel does not answer for several minutes. So just imagine they're just standing there. They're having a conversation, and then it's just him and Runel, and then they just stop.
Like, how do they know my secrets? And he's just like,
Several minutes is a long time,
deadpan,
guys.
staring him in the face for 7 minutes. That's like a nightmare.
And then he says, "If you accept the
Like, what
secret
the hell's
knowledge,
going on?
your life will change. You will never be the same.
Jesus.
Decide now."
Oh my God.
So
Well, we gotta make
there
some
again,
big
we're-
moral choices now.
We're left with a choice.
So secret knowledge. This is like some HP Lovecraftian shit now. It's like, this knowledge will change you forever. It's like, bro, it's Bigfoot. Can I just go back home?
I'm always down
I
for
guess
secret
not.
knowledge, bro.
I think we are getting in a little too deep. Let me tell you something. Runel, great guy, but what is up with this secret knowledge he's got? How does he got it? He's a very legitimate source.
You know,
really.
one thing I will say is that I think if we reject the offer of secret knowledge, either we die or the story ends. Because, and I'll say that only now, because if we reject the secret knowledge, it throws us to page 116.
Okay, so we're not rejecting the secret knowledge. I mean, we could. We've been talking about it. We're probably gonna have punishments for if we get bad endings, and then we'll like go back if you guys want. And maybe.
But I also don't want to. I don't want to like steer myself that way. I could be wrong. Maybe it goes from 116. Maybe it
This
lifts
is
us
what I'm
back.
saying. I feel like this guy's like Black Ops, Illuminati, Demon Patrol. I don't even know, dude. I think something else. Listen, I don't think he's lying to us. I think this guy, I don't think it's that Runel's a bad guy. I think that he's got this knowledge that'll change your life forever. So maybe it's too much to handle. Maybe it's the kind of thing, like in a Lovecraft story, like the knowledge is too much to bear for like human comprehension.
But
like,
this is like a I need to know kind of thing.
well, that's the whole thing. That's how
What
it
if
gets
it's? What if it's?
fear of the unknown. It's like, That's the ultimate.
I'm not afraid of the unknown. I just want to know the unknown.
That's my point. It's like you fear so you want to know it, but it'll change you forever. What does that
I'm more
mean?
curious than I am afraid. I want to know what I'm missing.
I'm more curious. Let me say, I'm not rejecting this knowledge. If frickin' a giant octopus demon like Cthulhu came up to me and promised me knowledge and wasn't even this dude, I'd probably accept it. Just because it's hard. How can you not? I want to know the knowledge of the universe and shit, you know? I mean, it's just Bigfoot, but that's what I'm saying. What about Bigfoot could be so crazy and secretive that it changes your life? Like, seeing Bigfoot, yes. But is that all he means? Is he just going to be like, this is how you find Bigfoot, this is the secret? Or is it going to be like, this ritual was passed down the generations. Bigfoot is the spirit animal of the people up in these mountains. You know, I'm really curious about this knowledge, is my main point. Let's take the knowledge, Tejj.
I think we're taking the knowledge there. Let's. So flip into page 40. Little flip, 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 flip. We say, I gladly accept your offer. I am ready for the knowledge.
Come with me.
He leads you to the monastery. Carlos stays behind.
Oh, we're leaving This is what I'm saying. This knowledge, you can't even bring your friend.
No, but see, that's what he said you and you alone have been chosen. So something's
hardcore,
something's deep. Something's going on here.
This is hard, guy. Okay. This is serious.
So it says, you and Runel enter the monastery through a huge wooden door.
Oh, shit.
It is dark inside, but you make out a figure of an old man seated on the floor. Beside him is a statue of Buddha. The man welcomes you and motions you to sit before him. You see that he's wearing the robes of a monk. You are served yak butter tea, a thick broth that you find hard to swallow. Listen well with heart, head, and body. Listen with eyes more than with ears. Heed the cry of the Yeti, the old monk tells you.
Cryptic knowledge.
I just want to read that again.
Yeah, let's keep that in mind.
Just so we could...
It's probably going to be important later.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be important later. Let's reinforce that. I'm going to run that back from the top.
Yes.
It says...
Hold on, should we do it in a voice, this old crazy monk?
It says, listen well,
yes,
with heart, head, and body. Listen with eyes more than with ears.
Okay.
Heed the cry of the Yeti, the old monk tells you. Interesting. So he's saying...
Okay.
He's saying, listen... But don't be fooled by what you hear.
It's
listen
like be
with
smart,
your eyes.
follow your heart, your emotions, your brain, your instincts. That's what's going to get you through this. Don't trust your ears. Trust what you see. It's funny because a lot of things I feel like are the opposite. I feel like a lot of movies and stuff that are like, it's like you can't trust your eyes. I feel like that's normally the kind of thing.
And the last thing he says is heed the cry of the Yeti. He didn't say the roar of the Yeti. He didn't say the anger of the Yeti. He said cry of the Yeti. Like
that's definitely important.
Like I think that word is important.
Well, that's why it's so interesting because he's saying heed the cry. He's saying listen with your eyes more than your ears. Heed the cry. The cry is probably something you're heeding it. It's probably like you're gonna hear it.
The first line,
it don't sound good.
The first line is listen well with heart, head, and body.
And then heed the cry. It's crying. It's upset. These people attacked him. I'm very into this. And the Yeti. Totally. The cry of the Yeti. The Yeti's crying, and we can't trust our ears. Does it sound terrifying? Yeah, we've never seen this creature. He's big. He's scary sounding, maybe. Majestic, but also scary and a giant ape monster. Who knows what the hell's going to happen? People attack him, so he's volatile, possibly. Maybe he'll just attack anyone. And really, I don't even, that's great information, so, I think my heart, my body, my head, and my eyes, and not my ears are ready for this journey.
I'm also trying not to get eaten by this Yeti, so I will approach with venerable caution.
What are the options?
Well, we haven't reached there yet, Blitz.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so excited.
So it says...
You tell me. Tell me when we're...
So like it said, heed the cry of the Yeti, the old monk tells you. It says, you can hear bells in the distance and wind in the pine trees outside the window. It is beautiful. You sit for what seems like hours, listening with your whole being. Finally, the monk speaks. Time now to go on your next journey. What journey, you ask?
Next journey.
This is getting too weird.
Correct.
That's the book that said that, not even me.
We are a smart dude, / the narrator's a smart dude. His instincts are correct. What the hell do you mean we're trying to find big... First of all, I thought this was a rescue mission. I know we're trying to...
Right, but then the rescue mission was achieved instantly.
This is weird, and now it's like, yes, we're trying to find... I get that at the beginning, we got the funding from the Paranormal Society. They gave us money to find Bigfoot. But now I feel like everything's like, boom, 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 you find Bigfoot, I just gave you the ultimate secret, now prepare for your life to change forever. It's like, geez.
So he says, what journey? And then the monk says, a continuation of the one you were already on.
That really lessened my confusion.
Interesting.
I thought that meant we were going to a completely different direction.
Listen, wait, but I have a problem with this because that's not very profound. Isn't any journey just a continuation of the journey that you're already on? He says, what journey? And then the monk says, a continuation of the one you were already on. Isn't any journey that from now on, if I take on any journey, is that not the continuation of the journey I'm already on?
It's like it's a journey we call a little thing called life.
Exactly, a little thing called life.
You know, he's a smart guy, gave us some good wisdom, I think, so I'll leave him alone. You know, he's old. He's trying to help. He's not wrong.
Okay.
He's not wrong with what he's saying, but I get it's not really wisdom.
Now we're
He literally was like, "Oh, continue." He might as well have just been like, "Now you are ready."
Now we're faced with that choice you wanted.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay. If you agree to take the journey, turn to page 51.
Okay.
If you decide that you are not prepared to change your life forever.
See, they're getting me with the. I'm not prepared. Let me be honest with you. I'm not prepared to change my life forever. But we already got the secret knowledge. Like, now that I'm on the spot, I'm like, geez, I got a lot of things I like. I got a girlfriend. I got some pets that kind of like me.
You just found your friend
my
Carlos.
rap career. I got my podcast. I got Carlos. You know, I'm worried about change, but I also think it's okay to be scared of change. And we were just gifted something that it seems like very few people ever have the experience to appreciate and enjoy. So we should probably go on with this journey. To stop now would be a fool's errand.
I agree. Turning to page 51, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
We'll see you there. Renal is still with you. He taps you on the shoulder, and you rise and follow him to the back of the monastery behind the Golden Buddha.
Ooh.
The heavy smell of rose-scented incense fills the air.
That sounds nice.
The Yeti are guides to Shangri-La. They take the chosen people to this hidden valley, which may have heard of. I'm not misreading that. It says, which may have heard of and only a few have seen.
They take the chosen people to the hidden valley, which
many have heard of and only a few have seen.
Okay, yeah.
You nod.
Interesting wordplay.
Wondering what comes next. One last chance, my
friend.
friend.
One last chance, my friend. Turn back now and live a normal life with your friend. Are we gay with Carlos? Live a normal life with your friend Carlos. It's like, all I want is my life with Carlos. I love him. That's why I came here. Go ahead and accept the life. Oh, that's him. Go ahead and accept the life of the secret world. So that's weird because he says.
So I think.
What will you do? That or accept the life of the secret world?
I mean, well, we're already accepting the life of the
now
secret world.
Now I think we might like Carlos
so,
a lot. I don't know if we had a lot of friends. It seems like we kind of found our niche and we really bonded with Carlos.
Honestly, my opinion, fuck Carlos. I think he's a snake in the grass. He tried to discover this. Listen to me. He tried to abandon his group and discover this Yeti on his
100%.
own, and then he got all screwed over. So we had to mobilize this entire team to go look for him.
We literally got a government squad.
Yeah, and then we found out that guess what? You're not even the chosen one, bitch. I'm the chosen one.
Yes. Fuck Carlos.
Yeah, so fuck Carlos.
I was interested in the backstory. Now I'm kind of thinking like they were real close. You know, maybe they're not gay. You know, I'm just saying shit, but they're close friends. Maybe they're all they have. You know, they're close.
To me, this is just a secondary choice to what we were just faced on before. It was like go home or take the journey.
What's what I'm saying?
We
He's
were taking the journey,
again,
and now he's like, "Are you sure you want to take the journey?" So I think,
let me tell you something.
We're going on this journey,
Let me tell you
right?
something. Carlos, sorry pal. I don't know what our relationship, where it stems from. I don't know how deep it goes, how deep it runs. If there's a romantic element, I don't know much about it. I don't, I was thrown into this existence recently. I don't know all the details, but
so far you've been
sorry, bro. You seem a little crazy. Well, here's what I think. I think maybe they were a little. Maybe it's not love, but maybe it's lust. Maybe it's like a weird friend, like a sick romance where he was like, Carlos was like, he doesn't call me anymore, and then was like, you just leave me. If
call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
If anonymous name guy doesn't come now, he's dead to me.
And he's having like a psychotic fit. I'm just imagining like there's like crazy deeper elements to this. I'm getting really into it. I'm just imagining this whole world that Mr. Montgomery is building.
So I guess we're going on.
We're going on. Listen, Carlos, sorry pal, you kind of goofed when you made really reckless decisions.
Yeah,
I don't know if we could. You didn't get the knowledge. Well, okay, you did something stupid in like a reckless scenario where like there was clear danger. Like you're 100% right, Dave. Did that. Clearly a bad decision. Went with people, well, at least another person, at least someone with a helicopter, and was like, leave me here, I'm going down to find this giant man by myself, who we know nothing about because we haven't obtained the secret knowledge. Of course, he doesn't know that, but you get my point. Dude doesn't even have the secret knowledge. He's like a crazy dude. We know he doesn't have all the knowledge because we didn't have all the knowledge. We were with him. We got the secret knowledge. He didn't. We found all this out. We saved his ass. We got the secret knowledge. It's too late to turn back. Sorry, Carlos. You in, you out. I don't know what our love was, but it's over. It's over.
And with that, we turn to page 70. Our character says, I'm ready, Renal. Lead the way. Renal taps 3 times on the back of the Buddha near the spot where its skull and neck join. It makes a clanging sound like cymbals being struck. Awesome! Before you stands a 7-foot-tall being with broad shoulders and huge feet. His face is gentle and kind. You are not frightened. Renal introduces him. This is Zodak.
Zodak. That's a cool name.
He is your special guide. Follow him.
Here, let me read that.
He will take you where you must go.
This is Zodak. He is your special guide. Follow him. He will take you where you must go, which I thought you were here just to get to find him, but I guess there's more. So there is more to the journey. It's not the same.
Well,
journey.
he told you before. He said that the Yeti is it's not an abominable snowman. He's a guide to Shangri-La. It's his duty to guide the chosen ones to the paradise of Shangri-La.
Okay, so
that's what he said in the previous page.
I heard it, but
so
I wasn't thinking about it like that. I was like, oh. But
so that's what he said. He was like, if you're sure we're going to do this, then that's why.
So we really are getting enlightened.
And we're like, yeah, we're doing it. So then he tapped on.
We're achieving Nirvana right now.
Then he tapped on the statue, and then the Yeti is now in front of him, and his name is
my God.
Zodak.
Zodak.
I'm sure the Yeti doesn't appreciate being called the Yeti. He probably is like, my name is Zodak.
I wonder if he's like, I wonder if he speaks. I wonder if he's like, I Zodak, or he's like, I am Zodak. You know.
So our character says, "Can I say goodbye to Carlos?" Dude, fuck Carlos. Why are we slowing up on Carlos?
It is not usual. I do not advise it. It might upset him and you.
See, they're close.
However, if you wish, go and say farewell.
Fuck Carlos. What do you think? Fuck Carlos?
If you go and bid farewell to Carlos, turn to page 90. If you decide against bidding farewell, turn to... I mean, we're about to be enlightened. I feel like it's what's Nirvana all about? Forget your material things. It's like, you made it, bro.
But are you making a selfish decision by...
Here's what I think. I'm in this, Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft mindset now. What if Shangri-La's not what you think? What if Shangri-La's this paradise, but actually this is ritualistic cult? Yeah, the chosen one. The chosen one to be torn apart with this Yeti, or better yet, he takes you to Shangri-La. Shangri-La is some sort of, evil, ambiguously evil death dimension or something, or it's like the Nirvana is like some Hellraiser shit. If Pinhead comes out and is like, Nirvana is suffering, some crazy. Then you got hooks in your hands and you're getting tortured for all eternity until you love, getting fucked up.
Well, I don't want to rub any lotion on my skin, and I don't want to get the hose again. So,
but I still think we shouldn't say goodbye to Carlos. With that said, I think we're too far deep in. I'm feeling crazy. I want him to be enlightened. I want to know everything.
So we are bidding. Are we going to bid farewell to Carlos?
Listen, let me tell you something.
What do you think? At this point, what do you think? Does Carlos deserve a goodbye or no? It's just a simple choice.
You just really convinced me with that he's a scumbag, kind of. And that's why I ranted about it. You got me really hyped about it. And I feel bad. I genuinely feel bad because, like I said, I feel like there's so much we don't know about their friendship. They're at camp together or whatever at school. They're close friends. I don't know. Whatever. They're close friends or they're connected on a deep level. But I also think that's why we shouldn't say goodbye, because we're moving on to something that good or bad, it's something that it's not for him. I don't know. I feel like he was. But you know what? I had an interesting thought. What are the chances in your life you're growing up that you're going to be the guy to try discovering Bigfoot? First of all, one. Not a lot of chance. A lot of people would just dismiss that. You're the guy, you believe in it, you don't care about the skeptics. That's the first thing. Number 2, you get funding for it. That's crazy. Imagine that in our world. Imagine the society's we're giving you $2 million to go on this expedition, to $200 million, to whoever knows, to find Bigfoot. $10 is who would give you $10 to find Bigfoot? Most people. Not to say no one out there, I'll give you money to find Bigfoot, but, in general.
In 1982, it'd be tough to get more than $10 to find Bigfoot.
Bigfoot's like some dude who goes to the disco and then does too many drugs. in the 1980s. You know, it's not even exactly. No one bats an eye. Anyway, next thing. So the chances are against you right now. All right, so then Carlos goes missing. So you were going to go on this expedition, but not now. But now you're going on this expedition early, which causes you to go to Runel, who gives you this information, and now you're exactly, it seems to me that maybe you're exactly where you're supposed to be, exactly when you're supposed to be there. You were the chosen one.
Right, and you,
so
already saved Carlos. You don't owe him anything anymore, right?
And I don't think we owed Carlos. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we don't owe Carlos anything. Maybe all this is the universe telling us that Carlos getting lost was a part of it too. He's okay. It was all to get us here, to this monastery, by this Buddha statue, to go to Shangri-La and experience enlightenment and be changed forever.
So off to page 90 we go.
So we're not saying goodbye to him?
I guess that's that's what we came to.
Yeah, I was kind of saying more maybe we do owe him a goodbye because he was a part of this. Like, I thought at first he's not a part of this. Fuck Carlos anymore. He's not getting the knowledge. But after I said all that stuff I just said, I kind of think now that he was a part of it the whole time. Not to say I'm completely against goofing him. I kind of think maybe we're a little pretentious. You know, maybe we're on to bigger, better things now. But also I kind of think that like he was a part of the journey. Him getting lost and all that wasn't his fault. Maybe it all ended up being, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not as cut and dry as we thought. Maybe he's not crazy. It was all meant to be. Maybe our good friend Carlos deserves it. In a way, he helped us get to reach our destiny.
And you know what? This kind of brings up a good point. I told my little sister this when we were having a conversation.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes you got to do the right thing without the expectation of right things being done to you,
100%.
Or by holding someone else's actions against them in the past. So just because someone did something wrong to you in the past doesn't mean you get to do something wrong to them now. You, by being a nice person, you inherently have to just do nice things without the expectation of nice things happening to you. So if we're trying to be a nice person, I think we say fuck it and say goodbye to Carlos. Even though we think he might not deserve it, but as being a nice person, we should do it.
So you think making him upset is the problem here, you're saying? You think we shouldn't make him upset on that level?
No, it's the right thing to do, regardless of how we feel about Carlos. It's the right thing to do.
To not say goodbye.
It's to say goodbye.
Oh, okay, so now you agree. Okay, for some reason I thought, okay, yeah,
no,
yeah,
the
yeah,
right
yeah.
thing to do would be to say goodbye.
Yeah. See, and I agree 100%.
Even though we don't like him, and we think he's a scumbag.
Listen,
but
I agree with you. You say your sister.
He deserves the common courtesy. Of
I don't believe. I believe in evil. Maybe I believe in a lot of crazy shit, but I don't necessarily think people are just evil or something. Or everybody makes mistakes. All that. You always gotta take the negative and reflect it back with some positive. There's no reason to be negative in a scenario unless obviously if Yeti's trying to kill us or something. One thing or another. Or this guy's some government agent trying to whatever the situation is. Yeah, if you have an opportunity to do kindness,
never be the aggressor until aggressed upon.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with being sad. You should give him the opportunity to feel his emotions about it and not be left questioning it for the rest of his life, because maybe he won't, but we don't know. We don't know if he's going to reach enlightenment. We don't know. So, exactly, it's just there's no reason to do harm. There's no reason not to say goodbye, the way I see it.
So we're going to do it. We're going to...
If it goofs outside, we're kind of surprised.
We're going to go and bid farewell to Carlos.
Maybe we can't handle it emotionally. We'll find out right now.
Right? We're going to bid farewell to Carlos.
Let's bid farewell. I'm glad I convinced you. I kind of felt bad after we...
No, you know what? You're right.
I was really angry with Carlos, but I thought about it and I just...
All right, so you go and you bid farewell to Carlos,
92.
so we turn to page 90. No, 90. If you go and bid farewell to Carlos, turn to page 90.
Let me get this one.
If you decide against bidding farewell, turn to page 92.
Let me get 90. This baby. You walk out of the room. The Yeti Zodak accompanies you. I don't know why I made that pause. Carlos stands outside, as he was when you left him. He is frozen in time. Damn. He can't hear you, nor can you hear him. You have become a part of a different world. Jeez, it's already happened. I'm kind of sad. You start to realize some of the consequences of your decision to go to Shangri-La. You say a quiet goodbye to Carlos, even though he cannot hear you, and follow Zodak back to the monastery.
Uh-oh. You're already in, the fourth dimension.
Damn, I just went through a lot of... Let me just tell all you guys out there. I'm experiencing, some real emotions from this. That really took me for a whirl. R.A. Montgomery's weirdly a very good writer in a weird way. It's kind of just we just had this whole thought experiment, and I was so mad at Carlos, and I forgave him, and we decided we should say goodbye. He's our friend. We're not of this earth anymore, but we still remember our earthly ways. We're not in Shangri-La yet, but it's too late. R.A. was wrong, but he didn't even get to say goodbye. Only us. It was a one-way street, and that is, first of all, jarring. It's like you just were a normal dude. The guy's like, your life's going to change. You walk outside to say goodbye to your friend back where everything was normal and time's frozen.
I also can't help but think that every choice represented in this book is like a test, right? Like it's like oh, you
100%,
make this
yes.
choice, oh, you goofed, you gotta go back.
It's like
So what does it say? Flip to page what?
92. Let's see what's on 92. All right.
Is that what it said on the bottom of that? Because that's the choice to
92.
That's crazy because the choice to not say goodbye to Carlos was also 92.
So they just threw in there. We just had a little
That was
sad,
just a
sad moment.
That was just
that's
we're gonna
nice.
force you to do this
I
regardless.
like these books. Read these books. Chooseco, if you're out there, like I said, please throw a dog a bone.
And get in contact.
We love these.
We'll shoot you an email. We got to figure something out, Chooseco,
For
because
We're also gonna look up this dude. By the next episode, we gotta look up this dude. Whatever his name is, I keep forgetting it. It's amazing. I love it. Roland Palmetto. I want to know about him if there's anything to know. He sounds interesting. I feel like I've read his name before. Maybe
we'll start our second episode with a brief bio on Roland Palmetto if I can get it.
Perfect. So listen, this is what we got here. 92. Zodak motions you to follow. He takes one giant step into the air. All right, dude's floating, and there's an illustration. He's floating. It looks like we're gonna be floating too. We'll get to that. You look with amazement as he hovers a meter off the ground. I gotta say, out of all the things I expected to read in this, I did not expect the Abominable Snowman to fly. I did not expect him to have a name, Zodak. I did not expect that.
I did not expect him to be the freaking navigator to Shangri-La.
He looks extremely friendly. We didn't hear any screams. We heard some nice advice, but I mean, maybe that'll come into play. Let's see. Then you step into the air, and you, too, are suspended above the floor of the monastery. So now we're floating. It's like Peter Pan. You just gotta believe. I do believe. You are levitating. Thank you. Thank you for that. Whoosh! The two of you zoom out of the monastery, right through the walls. Up, we're frickin' corporeal.
Like
corporeal.
I said, fourth dimension. We are
We're
now in the several.
We're in the ether,
dimensions.
bro.
Yeah,
we're in the
We're like
ghost
Doctor
realms.
Strange, just
We're like
going through shit.
We're like Danny Phantom.
Great show. Shout out Danny Phantom.
He was just 14 when his parents built the very strange machine. I don't remember any of the words, but I think that's the thing.
Right through the walls, up into the sky. Okay. I'm going to read that one again. The two of you zoom out of the monastery, right through the walls, up into the sky. You travel at unimaginable speeds. I'm like imagining this like Star Wars, like hyper speed, like Doctor Who.